I'm joking. I work here now to sell the moon.
NASA's not something that you sell with a jingle and a slogan.
When I'm done, those men are going to be bigger than the Beatles.
Who is that?
For me, this is very personal.
2, 1.
And I think we should have gotten Kubrick.
This is Feature Minded. So one of my subscribers showed me this trailer. So shout out to my subscriber Tariq, and he wanted me to check out this trailer about the moon, and the movie's called Get Me to the Moon. It's going to be hitting theaters this July, and it stars Scarlett Johansson and Channing Tatum. So I'll leave the link to the full trailer to this moon movie in the comment section and description box. So check that out after this video. And so when I was checking out this trailer, first, you're going to be thinking like, oh, this is just another moon movie. You know, it's like not very interesting, right? You're thinking, because we know what we think about the moon on this channel, and to see Hollywood making a moon movie, you're thinking this is just going to be more trash, you know, more stuff to not even pay attention to, basically. But as I watched this trailer, it started getting interesting because it started off real basic, but then it looked like NASA was having trouble with financing or something like that. Basically, they needed to hire this woman to help market the intentions of getting there, because they hadn't gotten to the moon yet, and they wanted to make sure they could beat Russia to the moon. And so NASA was having some type of funding issues and financial issues. So they hired this woman to promote NASA, and she started getting involved. And what she had people do was basically she took the astronauts and wanted them to do interviews. They didn't want to do them, so she hired actors to do the interviews for the astronauts. And the actors, they were standing in as astronauts. So that was when I was starting to notice, wow, this trailer is getting pretty interesting. So as it goes on, you're seeing how, well, NASA wanted to beat Russia to the moon because they can't fail on the national stage. You know, they can't have all of this media attention and then not be the first ones to the moon. So what they did after hiring these fake actors to do these interviews, you started seeing how they were making a set of the moon in Hollywood. So they were making a staged moon situation where they wanted to make it look like they were landing, and they wanted to be perfect. So they had movie directors on the set, and they had astronauts. They were jumping up with strings attached to them like they were in zero gravity. And it was a big show, a big Hollywood production. And so this is where I'm starting to realize what's going on with this movie trailer. It's like, are they going to actually show us that they were faking the whole moon landing? Are they going to show us this on a national movie like this coming out in Hollywood that's going to hit the theaters with high profile actors? You know, so I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, well, there must be something to this movie. So I'm not convinced yet that they're going to just leave it there, but that's kind of how they left it there in the trailer. And they even said they had this moment when they were filming the moon landing in Hollywood. They were saying something like, we should have hired Kubrick to film this. So it looks like it's kind of like a comedy, possibly, you know, some moments that are going to have the audience laughing and stuff. So I found it kind of funny as well. I mean, should have gotten Kubrick to film this, they were saying. So that's really what people think. You know, people really think Kubrick was involved in this whole filming of the moon landing, and people have been on to this for some time now. Even before Flat Earth, people were talking about the moon landing. So this is one of those things where I've heard about it like years and years before the whole Flat Earth theory, and I had kind of the same reaction about the moon landing that I did about Flat Earth initially, where with the moon landings, I was not really interested. You know, I was thinking like, of course they went to the moon. Why would they lie about something like that? You think right away, it's like, come on, this is ridiculous. I guess that's when you're in the Matrix. You just, you know, you're not really interested in the topic, and you're not suspicious of it at all because you didn't never really think of it much. And, you know, this all happened before I was born anyways, with alleged moon landings. So it wasn't something that I was interested in really at all. So I never gave it much thought, and I'm thinking like, when I hear theories like, oh, they didn't really go to the moon, I'm thinking right away like, okay, first of all, I don't really care too much, and second of all, why would they lie? I just thought it was kind of ridiculous to question something like that. And that's kind of the same reaction I had with Flat Earth, and a lot of people have had. You know, it's kind of like, it shows you got to be able to rise above those initial thoughts if you're going to be looking into these topics. So with this whole moon landing movie, I'm betting there's probably a twist where they're going to act like maybe they went anyways. They just wanted to film on the side for backup. That's almost kind of like what I got out of the commercial. Is like, I almost feel like they're going to be saying something like, well, we have to address this, you know, because there's been a lot of information about the moon coming out. There's this dude named Bart or something that has really cracked this whole moon landing stuff and has some very serious information that will show you that they didn't go. But for some reason, this Bart dude is not a flat earther. So he pretty much figured out that they never went to the moon, but he can't figure out that the whole NASA thing is trash as well. It's all the same thing. Like, they didn't just stop at faking the moon landing. It was everything. Once these people realize it's not just the moon that you need to question, it's the whole heliocentric solar system. I think some so-called truthers cannot get themselves to figure this out because they probably haven't even figured out the whole moon thing. They think that they faked the moon landing because maybe there's aliens up there, or they didn't want to show the real footage of bases on the moon. You know, their mind is so far gone into this outer space stuff that they just can't figure this out. And maybe one day they'll realize, oh, it's not just the moon landing we're talking about. We're also talking about the shape of the earth. We're talking about planets in general. We're talking about the heliocentric solar system, which is based on pagan sun worship. We're talking about all this when it comes to the moon. The moon is just the beginning of figuring this stuff out. And I actually figured flat earth out before the whole moon landing stuff. So that's just was my process of waking up out of this matrix that they put you in. And you got to be able to be a thinker. You have to be wise to figure this stuff out. And you have to understand that the system has been tricking you in a lot of different areas that you would never suspect. So yeah, this is going to be an interesting movie. Let me know if you're going to check it out. I'll probably end up checking it out once it comes available to rent. I don't know if I'm going to go to the theaters for it, if it even really hits the theaters. I mean, they're promoting this movie as if it's going to literally be in theaters across the country. So we'll see. I mean, maybe I will check it out in the theaters. We'll have to see. But like I said, I'm willing to bet there's a twist in the movie. I'm thinking, like I said, they can't just really be coming out here with the movie like this, can they? I mean, a movie talking about how they faked the moon landing, I'm just not convinced that they're gonna go all out like that. I really think they're gonna twist it and try to spin it back to saying, well, they just had to film it as backup just so that there's no mistakes, to make sure we have the public behind us or something. But really, they ended up making it to the moon, and they were ultimately able to use the real footage. I guess they're going to probably try to say or something. They actually did make it up there or whatever. I'm pretty sure that they're going to actually act like they made it to the moon in the movie. I'm going to be surprised if they don't do that. It's going to be interesting to see which direction they go with this film. But knowing Hollywood, I'm just not convinced they're willing to put out a movie like this, because this would be pretty much waking up a lot of people, I would guess, if they go forward with making the movie literally saying that they never made it to the moon. If they actually go that far and say that in a Hollywood movie, in a national release like this, that's going to wake up a lot of people. Because a lot of people will finally start looking into it, because film is very powerful. We've seen a lot of film being things that we see in real life after a while. So this is a tool that they use in order to show people what they want people to see. And if they want to reveal information to people, they sometimes show it in a film. So this could only spark interest. And if you look deep into this subject, eventually you will come across, hopefully, some information that shows you about how they didn't go. And look, if you want to do more research with me on this subject, I have a playlist about the moon and how they didn't go and how it's all science fiction. So check out that playlist and get caught up, because you're going to have kind of a hard time finding the information. This type of information is very difficult to come by these days, and they try to suppress a lot of this information. So if you come across a video like this and you're hearing this information for the first time, you definitely are going to want to check out the playlist in the comment section and description box to get caught up, because I don't know how else you're going to find the information. They hide this type of content. And so I'm going to leave a link in the comment section and get caught up about how they never went and the reasons why. How are you not going to question all of this information? There's a lot of suspicious things that had happened with this whole moon landing claim, and people haven't even looked into it out there, and so-called truthers haven't. So now's your time to get caught up. Let me know if you're going to check out this movie in the comment section. Check out all the links. I also leave links to my other channels, my social media, my Feed Your Mind store, and much more. Make sure you follow me on social media, please. Let's get all these follows up on TikTok and everything, X, wherever you are. Facebook, I'm on all these platforms. Also, check out that Feed Your Mind store. I have a lot of cool stuff in there. Also, if you can support this channel, please donate as little as $1 to help keep this channel online. And please like, comment, share, subscribe. This has been Feed Your Mind, signing off.